Okay, gang, there's obviously lots of demand for trade talk on this channel, and the possible trade targets out there do change week by week, so we thought we would do another episode of players you can think about trading for, and this is meant to be kind of the buy low, distressed asset edition. The idea here of course, I'm mentioning players who come with big risk, and you should be able to get them more cheaply than you would have gotten them this summer. If you can't, if the person in your league who owns these players wants full price, obviously you do not buy them. And you know what? In the name of giving you more names, I'm going to count down 3 new names from a couple weeks ago on this channel. But yes, I still think you should go buy on Stephon Diggs and on Joe Mixon. Oh, they are distressed assets, all right. Probably more distressed than they were 2 weeks ago when I first mentioned them. The cost has only come down. I still believe both will get going on the rise. But let's talk about 3 new names. If Diggs and Mixon are most distressed on my list, I'll go from least to most for these other 3. DeAndre Hopkins, he's the number 27 receiver in standard fantasy leagues right now. I don't think anyone's out there thinking of cutting DeAndre Hopkins the way they're thinking of cutting Stephon Diggs out of frustration. But 2 touchdowns and 347 yards through 5 games does not fit a model of the man who was drafted to be the number 1 overall wideout this summer in a lot of leagues, dare I say most leagues. And Hopkins owners just had to watch Will Fuller score 3 touchdowns on Sunday. Frankly, Fuller was tackled on the 1 on 2 other drives. It could have easily been 5 touchdowns. So, okay, you're not getting Hopkins for nothing in any fantasy league. And I think in most rational fantasy leagues, the Hopkins owner is going to feel relatively secure in the knowledge that great players usually turn it around. I still think it's worth the inquiry. It's possible you could find some surprising impatience, especially among less experienced fantasy players who've forgotten why they drafted Hopkins in the first place, because he's big and has amazing hands and is ferocious with the ball. If the Hopkins owner in your league requires you to pay for him as though he's a top 10 overall player, no, you're going to smile and you're going to move on. But I got to tell you, there's only one wideout in the entire league I wouldn't trade straight up for Hopkins, and that's Julio Jones. And even then, there's a case to be made. If you can get Hopkins for any other receiver on your roster, I think I'd do it. I just don't think you need to pay for Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper. I think you can pay a lot less in some leagues and get Hopkins. It could be scary. I mean, imagine trading Chris Godwin, the number 1 receiver in fantasy, or DJ Chark, the number 3 receiver in fantasy. I mean, you'd be giving up a ton of points already scored. But I'd do it, and I'd certainly give up a package of replaceable parts from your roster. Hopkins will pay off, I'm pretty sure. Okay, we'll be right back with a couple more distressed assets you should consider trading for. We are sponsored by Leesa, makers of my mattress, the one I sleep in for real every single night. Basically, they've been my mattress of choice for more than 4 years, and I love it. It's good to know that in addition to providing a great night's sleep, Leesa is a certified B Corp and was just named Best for the Planet by B Labs. It's a prestigious award, reflects their commitment to the environment and to helping get new beds to lower income families and nonprofits. It helps I do love the mattress. And to make sure you love yours, Leesa delivers direct to your door. They give you 100 nights to try it out. Make sure it's great. If it's not, return it, get your money back. And we can get you 15% off your new mattress. Go to Leesa.com, use the promo code HarrisTube. If it's time for a new mattress in your house, get that 15% off. Leesa.com, promo code HarrisTube. Okay, we're back at it with more distressed fantasy assets you can consider trading for. And these 3 players that we're actually showing you pictures of in the show, I'm going again from least to most distressed. I've got Le'Veon Bell currently stuck at number 25 among standard league running backs. I think he's a buy. And now it's just 4 games, and he is number 17 among running backs in PPR. And I have a tendency to think, when a team doesn't have a functional quarterback, maybe the skill weapons around him can't do their job. But it is possible that the Bell owner in your league actually views Sam Darnold's likely return this weekend as a chance to pull the ripcord on Bell, get out from under a bad offense and a bad team that's not going to score that much while the getting is good. And if that's the case, I'm looking to acquire Bell at a relative discount. Now, if you're at all familiar with my work, you're aware I think yards per carry is a pretty bad stat that doesn't really mean very much other than you have or haven't broken a couple of big plays. But in this case, you can use it as a weapon to depict the hopelessness of the Jets offense. 2.9 yards per carry. Why, that's terrible. How could it ever get better? Heck, in week 1, with Darnold playing, Bell had 23 touches for 92 yards. Not exactly efficient. Now, I don't want to pretend that there's no risk that the worried Bell owner in your league might be right. Of course there is. I don't think the Jets are very good, and Bell could wind up plugging away with a big workload on a low-scoring team and not return top 10 running back value. But that risk is why you should be able to acquire Bell on the relative cheap. And again, if you have to pay for him as though he is a top 10 running back, I think you smile and you move on. But I'm still very bullish, or at least as you can see, I'm willing to factor in much more upside than Bell has shown to this point. No, I wouldn't trade any of these players away to get Bell, nor would I particularly want to trade anyone away in the top 10 or even top 15, because I'm ranking him here from this point forward. He is a distressed asset. For example, would I trade Travis Kelce for Le'Veon Bell? I don't think you should have to. I think you should be able to put Darren Waller together with Josh Jacobs to get Le'Veon Bell. I think that would tempt the Le'Veon Bell owner who needs a tight end, and maybe you have an extra one. Try trading ponies for a horse, especially if those ponies have posted strong numbers that you're not convinced will continue at their current pace. And then last on the most distressed side of this trio, Odell Beckham, currently mired in 34th among fantasy wideouts in standard leagues, coming off a national TV game where he was embarrassed, the Browns were embarrassed, and now the narrative that, actually, Baker Mayfield is bad. Actually, the entire offense was super overrated and stinks. And I don't know. I don't think they stink. Overrated, sure, that might be true, in that the expectations were maybe always a little outsized. But I do not think Odell Beckham, when healthy, is going to stay anything close to 34th among wideouts. We've seen him be too good for too long. It's been terrible. I'm not here to make a hipster argument that actually it's the touchdowns you don't score. The Browns have been too easy to defend. A lot of that comes down to a bad offensive line, but there are ways to get ODB the ball. And you saw at the beginning of the Niners game, they were trying screens and wide receiver options throwing the ball, but they got away from those things as the snowball started rolling downhill. The only thing Beckham has lacked in his last 2 years with New York, that was health. When he's right, he's a different level of playmaker, and while I know the outlook seems very dark right now, I think that's when you pounce. I admit, even my confidence in Beckham is shaken a little bit right now. I've gone from ranking him my number 3 receiver this summer to number 11 as of right now. You can find all my rest of season ranks at harrisfootball.com. And I know, of course, based on the performance so far this year, putting him number 11 here makes it look a little insane. I think the way to maximize your chances of winning is to make bets on players you've seen do it year after year. I don't think there really is such a thing as an offense that can make Odell Beckham be the wide receiver 34 all year if he's healthy. This is the most risky of the 3 guys we're highlighting today. You should be able to get him for the least, because what you're looking for is someone who watched that Browns game on Monday night and decided it's over. You don't want someone saying, give me Kenny Golladay for him. You want someone saying, I'll take DJ Chark for him. As fun a story as DJ Chark is, and as much as I really like him as a player, he's sort of my poster child for a player who's likely overvalued for the rest of 2019. I do not believe he's going to register as many fantasy points as Odell Beckham will the rest of the season. Or if you don't want to go 1-for-1, again, ponies for a horse. See if you can dish sexy-looking spare parts for Odell Beckham. But what do you think? Tell us down in the comments. And also ask us some trade questions of your own. We'll pick out some to answer in the comments before Sunday. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.